Welcome everyone. We're so glad that you could join us for this evening's One Book, One Night program. Sticking with our nautical summer reading theme, Oceans of Possibilities, we're going to be reading an adaptation of Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid. My name is Lisa. I'm with the Tampa-Hillsborough County Public Library, and I'll be emceeing this evening's program. I'm joined today by two of my fantastic colleagues who are going to introduce themselves and which language they will be reading in.
Hi, my name is Wen Qi. I work at the Riverview Branch Library, and today I'll be reading in the Mandarin Chinese language.
Hi, my name is Kelsey, and I work at the New Tampa Regional Library, and I'll be reading in English today.
I'm so excited to get this program started. If you're familiar with our program, we always take a turn reading in English and one or two other languages, and this is our first time having Wen Qi on to read Mandarin Chinese for us. So very excited we were able to add that for this month. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and turn our cameras off and we'll get started on this. All right. So while we're reading, if you decide you're in a very nautical mood and are looking for your next book to read, you might want to try out this really fun YA book. It is To Kill a Kingdom. It's another story of a mermaid or siren and her journey of exploring the human world. So if you're into a good YA fantasy book that might have a nautical bend to it, check this one out. It's available in our catalog as a physical book. You can check it for it at hcplc.org/books, or you can pick up the ebook version and read it on your mobile device. hcplc.org/ebooks has all the information on that. And I did warn you guys we were going to have a little bit of fun with some pop quizzes and polls. We are going to start right off with a quick poll. And there we go. We're going to get a feel for how familiar you are with the original fairy tales before Walt Disney adapted them. So you'll be able to choose from, well, I love the classics, obviously, the Brothers Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen, come on. Or you know that some of the Frozen characters might have been based on Hans Christian Andersen's, but you're not super familiar with the originals. Or wait a minute, Disney didn't create this stuff on his own? Go ahead and vote. Let us know what you thought. Ooh, my goodness, you guys are quick. I know for me, I definitely grew up with the classic versions and the Disney versions hand in hand, so I definitely love both of them. All right, we've got our answers in, and the results are, ooh, pretty mixed across the board. We've got a little bit of everything going on here. Well, I'm so excited that we're going to be able to share this version of it. It's also not a true original Hans Christian Andersen text, but it is another adaptation of it that is from a bilingual text of it. So great. We will go ahead and close that down. And last, before we start reading, kind of keep this in the back of your mind. After we're done reading, we will have a quick book discussion about what you thought. If you were the Little Mermaid, how might your choices be different from this one? And how would they change the outcome at the end of the story? But just kind of keep that in the back of your mind while we're reading, and we'll chat that through at the end of the program. All right, without further ado.
Okay. At the bottom of the sea lived the Sea King and his family in a palace. The Sea King had 6 daughters who were mermaid princesses. The youngest was the most beautiful one, and she was good at singing. The Little Mermaid liked the human stories her grandmother told her, but she was not allowed to see the human world until she was 15.
在大海深处有一座用珊瑚和珍珠建造的宫殿，海王和他的家人就住在里面。海王有6个女儿，她们都是人鱼公主，其中小人鱼最可爱也最美丽。她的皮肤像玫瑰花瓣一样细嫩，眼睛像蓝色的海水一样清澈。她的歌声比任何人类的声音都更动听， 小人鱼最喜欢听祖母讲人类的故事，那些有趣的故事让他对人类充满了好奇。祖母告诉他，等他满15岁的时候，他就可以浮出海面，亲眼看见美丽的人类世界。
On her 15th birthday, the Little Mermaid rose up to the surface of the sea. There was a large ship floating on a peaceful sea. She was very excited when she saw a handsome prince on the ship. The Little Mermaid was deeply attracted by his gentle smile.
15岁生日的那天，小人鱼戴上祖母和姐姐们编的花环，兴奋地游出了海面。这时太阳刚刚落山，平静的海面上停着一艘漂亮的大船。当海浪把小人鱼拖起来的时候，他看到船上有一位英俊的王子，王子的微笑是那么的温柔，小人鱼被深深地吸引住了。
At night, a sudden storm turned over the ship. Many people fell into the sea, including the prince. The Little Mermaid swam over to the prince, took him by the head, and brought him to shore. He was unconscious. The Little Mermaid kissed his forehead and then hid behind a rock, waiting for someone to save him.
夜渐渐深了，海上突然刮起了可怕的风暴，大船被巨大的海浪打翻了，船上的人都掉进了海里。小人鱼看见王子也落进了海里，赶快朝他游了过去。小人鱼托起他的头，把他带到了岸边。王子一直昏迷不醒，于是小人鱼轻轻吻了王子的额头，然后躲到大石头背后的海水里，等待着好心人把王子救走。
If you are ready to continue this experience at home and really get into the history of some of this folklore and how it was adapted and written down, you can go to Gale Literature Resource Center if you want to learn more about this. So this is a person who really took time to go through and document all of this rich folklore that's found throughout all the many regions of China and really documenting it for folks. He's known as the Brothers Grimm of modern China. He's one person, but we'll call him Brothers, given all the work that he did on this effort. But you can find out more about it through the Gale Literature Resource Center. It's a really great tool if you're just looking for more information on something that you casually want to explore, or if you're doing it academically, if you're doing it for something for school, for a project. There's a lot of information on here where you can find the whole text in its whole. It has really quick ways to cite it if you need, in all the various formats that you might need to cite something. So yeah, check out Gale Literature Resource Center, hcplc.org/research/literature, and read more about Lun Lung.
At last, a young girl came by. Just then, the prince came to life. Thinking the girl had saved his life, the prince thanked her. The Little Mermaid saw the prince being lifted back to the palace. She wanted to tell the prince the truth, but she couldn't. From then on, the Little Mermaid always swam near the palace at night to see the prince. She longed to become a human being so that she could stay with the prince.
终于，一个年轻女子来到了海边。她发现王子后，非常吃惊，马上找了许多人过来。这时，王子苏醒了，他微笑着向那位年轻的女子道谢。小人鱼目送着人们把王子抬回宫殿，他多么想告诉王子，救他的人是他自己啊！从那以后，小人鱼常常趁着夜深游到王子的宫殿边，在月光下看着他俊俏的轮廓。他越来越想变成一个人了，因为只有变成人，他才能和王子在一起。
One night, the Little Mermaid went to see the witch. She begged her for legs. You have to give up your voice, the witch said. The Little Mermaid agreed. The witch gave her a draught. Take this and you will get legs, she said. but walking on feet will be extremely painful for you. What's more, you can never return to the sea. And if the prince falls in love with another girl, you will become foam in the sea on the next morning after his wedding.
一天晚上，小人鱼找到了海里的巫婆，请求巫婆把她的尾巴变成人的腿。巫婆冷笑着说：“你得用你的声音来交换。”小人鱼答应了。巫婆取出了一罐魔药，递给小人鱼：“喝下这个，你就会得到一双腿。不过，你每走一步就会像走在尖刀上一样痛苦，你再也不能回到海底了。还有，如果王子爱上别人，在他结婚的第二天早晨，你就会变成海上的泡沫。”
All right, another chance for our readers to grab a sip of water and hydrate before we continue on. So if you've attended any of our One Book, One Night programs, you know that this is one of my favorite library resources to highlight. If you want to continue this experience and practice some language learning skills at home, you can't get better than using Mango Languages. You can either download it on your phone and use it as an app or use it on the web on your desktop. Either way works great. It's a really great language skills builder that starts off very easy and kind of gauges where you're at with the language and then builds progressively and adds difficulty and complexity. There are tons and tons of languages to choose from, all the typical languages that you would expect to see in a language app, but then also some really fun, silly ones like learning how to talk like a pirate. So if you want to check out this app or learn a language, hcplc.org/online classes is a quick way to get to all of our learning at home tools and resources. So we hope you check that out and have some fun with languages like we do with this program. All right.
The Little Mermaid left for the shore without saying goodbye to her family. After taking the draught on the shore, she fainted in great pain. When she woke up, the prince was standing before her. He asked the Little Mermaid who she was and where she came from, but she couldn't speak.
小人鱼不敢和家人告别，只能偷偷地向皇宫飞了1000个吻，然后浮出了海面。在宫殿前的沙滩上，小人鱼喝下了魔药。他觉得自己的尾巴好像被一把锋利的刀劈开了，他痛得昏了过去。小人鱼醒来时，王子正站在他的面前。他亲切地问他是谁，从哪儿来。小人鱼想要回答时，他发现自己已经发不出声音了。他只能温柔而又悲伤地望着王子。
The prince took the Little Mermaid to the palace and let her stay with him. The Little Mermaid couldn't sing, but she could dance. Although every step caused her harsh pain, she insisted on dancing for the prince as long as he was happy.
王子挽着小人鱼的手，把她拎进了皇宫。他很同情这个没有家的姑娘，所以经常让她陪伴在自己身边。小人鱼虽然不能唱歌了，但他还能跳舞给王子看。虽然他每跳一步，纤细的脚都非常疼痛，有时候甚至会流出血来，但只要王子喜欢，他就微笑着跳个不停。
But the prince only regarded her as a good friend. He said he loved the girl who had saved him. The Little Mermaid couldn't tell him it was she who saved him, but she dreamed one day that the prince would find out the truth. She missed her family so much. She was not allowed to go back to the sea, but she didn't feel regret.
可惜，王子只把小人鱼当成好朋友。他常常说，他爱着那位救过自己的姑娘。小人鱼没办法把事情的真相告诉王子，但他想，总有一天，王子会明白的。思念家人的时候，小人鱼就走到海边，看着海水发呆。他再也不能回到海里去了，再也见不到祖母、父亲和姐姐们了。 不过他从不后悔自己的选择。
All right, another quick breather for our readers, and we're going to take a second to do another quick poll. So far, how does this version of The Little Mermaid compare to others you might have seen or read before? You can choose, this is better. I'm having so much fun with this bilingual edition. Or they're about the same. Both are really fun in completely different ways. Or, it's not for me. I really prefer the Disney animated versions. So there's no wrong answer here. Go ahead and chime in, let us know. Are you someone who really prefers the old school classics, or do you prefer the Disney classics? Both classics in their own ways. Go ahead and vote on that. All right, I think we've got most of our answers here. We'll close that out in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see what the audience says. Ooh, so it looks like a lot of our audience is on team both. Both is good. I completely agree. I like the classics both ways. I love the really old versions of the tales, even though they're not the originals, maybe that even the Brothers Grimm might have adapted some of those tales a little bit from how they originally looked. But yeah, the Disney versions are great too. You can't beat a sing-along, especially when you've got Sebastian singing there. All right, well, we're gonna get right back into it.
One day, the prince visited a neighboring country with the Little Mermaid and his attendants. At dinner, the prince saw the country's princess. "My God, she is the girl who saved me," he told the Little Mermaid excitedly. "I will marry her." The Little Mermaid was heartbroken. She kissed the prince's hand. She knew that she would soon turn into foam.
一天，王子带着小人鱼和随从们乘船去拜访邻国。邻国国王为王子举行了盛大的欢迎宴会。当邻国的公主出现在宴会上时，王子惊呆了。他激动地对小人鱼说：“她就是那个救我的姑娘，我要娶她为妻。”小人鱼的心都碎了，他悲伤地亲吻了王子的手。他知道自己很快就将变成海上的泡沫。
Soon the prince and princess got married. On the deck of the ship, the Little Mermaid danced for them. She had never danced so elegantly before, and all the guests cheered her. The pain in her feet was harsh, and it was like dancing on sharp knives. But her heart was much more painful than her feet. It was the last night of her life. The prince paid no attention to her. He enjoyed his time with his beautiful bride.
王子和公主终于结婚了。在大船的甲板上，小人鱼为新郎新娘跳起舞来。他从来没有跳得这么好过，大家都赞不绝口。尽管他的脚仍像踩到尖刀上那么痛，但他的心比脚还痛。这是他活着的最后一晚了。第二天一早，他就会变成泡沫，消失在大海里。小人鱼痛苦地皱着眉，可王子没有看到。他吻着美丽的新娘，缠着她的手，到房间休息去了。
At night, the Little Mermaid's sisters came. They had given their hair to the witch in exchange for a sharp knife. If the Little Mermaid plunged it into the heart of the prince before sunrise, she would be turned back into a mermaid and returned to the sea. The Little Mermaid didn't want to hurt the prince, but her sisters insisted on giving the knife to her.
夜深了，小人鱼站在甲板上，等待着早晨的到来。正在这时，她的姐姐们浮出了海面，她们脸色苍白，原本美丽的长发都被剪掉了。姐姐们说，她们用长发和巫婆交换了一把尖刀，只要小人鱼在太阳升起前把刀插进王子的心脏，他就可以重新变成人鱼，回到海里。小人鱼不愿意伤害王子， 但姐姐们流着泪把刀塞进了她的手里。
All right, folks, another quick reading breather. We are going to talk a little bit about some of the super fun things that you can check out from the library. We have a fantastic collection of DVDs. So I know we love our streaming options, and we do have tons of those at the library, but you can still check out DVDs. We have a huge collection, and there are some really fun things in there, like the Miyazaki movies. We picked these out because this is the Ponyo one is particularly on theme for us this summer with our very nautical themes. But yeah, we have a huge collection, anything from kids to grown-ups. We have the super classics. We have your Saturday afternoon popcorn movies. We have your black and white Casablanca throwbacks. I mean, whatever you can imagine, the library has a really fun collection. I encourage you to check that out, and let us know when you check those out what kind of movies you're going to be watching. So we hope you have fun with that.
The sun was about to rise. The little mermaid entered the prince's bedroom. She saw the sleeping prince lying with his bride. It was her last chance, but she could not bear to kill the prince. She kissed his forehead and threw the knife away.
太阳就要出来了，小人鱼握着刀来到了王子的房间。美丽的新娘把头枕在王子的怀里，而王子正在梦中念着新娘的名字。两个人脸上都洋溢着幸福的微笑。小人鱼弯下腰，在王子的额头上吻了一下。他多想一直待在他身边啊！可天空越来越亮了，再不动手，他就要变成泡沫了。小人鱼闭上眼睛，拿着刀的手不停地发抖。就在刀尖快要碰到王子的胸膛的时候，他把刀远远地扔了出去。
The little mermaid walked out of the bedroom and jumped into the sea. When the prince and his bride woke up, they couldn't find the little mermaid. They felt very upset.
小人鱼最后一次看了看王子，然后走出房间，跳进了海里。王子和他的新娘醒来后，发现小人鱼不见了，急忙到处寻找他。可是他们找了一遍又一遍的角落，都找不到小人鱼的身影。他们望着海里翻腾的泡沫，悲伤极了。
The little mermaid felt as if she had become a cloud and was gradually rising up. Where am I going? She asked. You are becoming a cloud and flying to the sky, some beautiful voices answered. From now on, you will have a happy life. And then the little mermaid raised her arms and happily flew to the sky.
跳进海里的小人鱼觉得自己的身体正在融化，渐渐地，它好像变成了一朵云，轻轻地升了起来。我要去哪儿呢？他问。变成云朵飞到天上去啊！许多好听的声音回答他：你既善良又坚强，为了心爱的人忍受了那么多痛苦，你变成云朵以后，就可以过上自由自在的生活啦。于是，小人鱼快乐地向太阳举起双臂，升到天空里去了。
Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera back on. We have reached the end of the reading portion of this program. So we're ready for our discussion time here. Go ahead and get those question boxes pulled up. We're going to start chatting here, but yeah, let us know what you thought. Let us know what you think of our discussion here. So as a reminder, our discussion question is, if you were the Little Mermaid, how might your choices be different? Would they change the outcome at the end of this story? What do my readers here think?
I don't think I would give up my voice. That's the main problem. Like, it's symbolic of like feminism as like giving up your voice. I don't need to give up my voice to be with a man. No. Mermaid tails are pretty. I mean,
I completely
it's
agree.
fine. It's fine. I don't need to do that. It's okay. I can look at him from afar. It's fine.
Wow, that's cool.
What do you think,
Well,
Wenjun?
I probably did the same. Would have done the same as the Little Mermaid. I don't think I can kill another human being with a knife. Is just too much. And whatever she gone through, it's her choice. You know, she chose to sacrifice, and that's her first love. You know, love on the first sight. And you know, I understand. I kind of understand why she sacrificed that much. And I honestly, I like the classic version than the Disney version, you know, because yeah, it's to me it's more real.
It's definitely the original is definitely more adult version of it. It's a little bit darker. That's an understatement in most cases for the Brothers Grimm. But yeah, it's definitely that has a different tone than the Disney one. It's while in this classic one we have the Little Mermaid, you know, rising up as sea foam and having her happily ever after.
Right.
Does she?
And the classic one may be not happily ever after for everyone, but maybe for Little Mermaid, that's the best version. You know, she actually feel happy for doing that.
Yeah.
Everyone,
And she didn't need no man.
right?
Yes. For a lot of fairy
Like
tales,
that.
oh, I love it. For a lot of fairy tales, I gravitate towards the older ones rather than the sanitized Disney versions. But Ariel's always been my favorite princess. I think just because she was different, even though really I should relate more to Belle because who doesn't want all those books. But Ariel was just like different, and I loved Ariel, so it's hard. I think this one is like both versions because they're both great.
It looks like one of our audience members says that they would not give up their voice to have their heart broken.
Yes.
Stand strong. We're team you right now.
Yes.
But you know, I would argue on the library side, you said you should be more Belle because you're library. I would say that Ariel had a little bit of an archivist streak.
True.
She definitely, you know, curated her collection of who's it's and what's
True.
it galore.
Yes.
I mean, if you
And you
wanted
have
to think
to,
Bob, she had 20 and she knew where to
yeah.
find them in her catalog.
And she knew exactly who to go to for experts when she needs to get artifacts identified. She had to go to Scuttle for the Dinglehopper and learn how to use it. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're right. I stand corrected. Ariel was a great archivist and like special collections.
There we go.
Yeah.
How about you folks? What do you think about how it might change the outcome of the story if the Little Mermaid had made different choices? Would it
Well,
have
if she
changed the
hadn't,
tone?
well, she hadn't given up her voice, I'm not sure anything would have progressed farther than that, or she could maybe try and barter with the Sea Witch, because really, I don't know if the story really would have happened, except as like if she tried to barter with the Sea Witch or find a way to like outwit her, and then get what she wants, like both ways of actually being able to do it with her voice.
Yeah, I think there was not a lot of
No.
negotiating that happened there. It
No.
kind of took what was given in that case, and maybe she could have gotten a better deal out of it.
Yeah, that seems to stay the same through the Disney version. There wasn't much of a fight, but you kind of wish there was.
I like in the
Right?
Disney version that she had more friends that had her back.
Yeah.
I like that about that version. She went through her trials and troubles and adventures, but she had a good solid crew of friends that were supporting her.
Yeah.
The classic one has all the sisters and the father supporting her. But
But they were also like, you know, if you stick a knife in them, it'll be over with. I don't I don't know that they were a good influence.
I didn't expect a knife. Like, I know I was reading and I'm used to like reading. I was like, wait, where did the knife come from? I was like, whoa, this just got real quick.
It did. All those classics.
Yes, very
They
bloody.
definitely took life and death matters a bit more seriously. You do
Yes.
have to keep in mind that the classic versions of the stories were usually not intended for young audiences.
No.
They were definitely more for the adult population. So we get that a lot, where people are surprised at how grim things are in the Grimm's version of the books, but they weren't intended as bedtime stories to get kids to be all cozy in their beds.
Maybe just skip the last chapter, the last one with the knife. No.
All right. Well, if you have any last minute thoughts, go ahead and type them in there. While you're doing that, I'm going to pop us over to our closing slide. If you go to hcplc.org, that and /contact, that'll have all of our contact information on there. You can pull that up anytime, check your account, look for some of these great books that we have, look for future events on our calendar, including more One Book, One Nights. And yeah, check those out. We have a question here. When is the next one and what book are we doing? So our next book is next month. Let me pull up the exact date. I believe it is the first Friday in July, and I will double check that right now. But our next book is The Old Man and the Sea.
Ooh.
So we're definitely sticking with the
Wow.
classic, sticking with our nautical theme. Pulling that up here just to make sure that I have that date correct here. But yes, we're doing The Old Man and the Sea. So in line with our nautical theme, and we tend to go for the classics here.
Very cool.
Definitely
yep,
a abrupt turn.
Yep, Friday, July 8th. It's going to be at the same time again. And if you go to hcplc.org/summer, that has all of our summer programs on it. It has a breakdown of how you can win prizes for participating in programs like this one. It has prizes, information on how to log your activity, log your reading, log your attendance for virtual and in-person programs. And there are tons of fun prizes that you can win. There are a lot of technology prizes, so some fun gadgets you can win, but there's also, of course, free books that can be won. So check that out, hcplc.org/summer. Register and log those hours. And it also has our full summer schedule on that for both in-person and virtual programs. So we can't wait to see you back for our next one. It's so good to see everyone here, and thank you for joining us this evening. It's always a pleasure. Kelsey and Wenchi, thank you so much for reading tonight. It was so much fun.
Yes. Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.